Morning. We are going to learn a Rambam, Perek Daled Hilchos Maisa Karbonos, Halacha Yud, and then Halacha Yud Aleph. It's a very important Rambam in Shechting Karbonos. So he writes, Kol HaZvachim, Tzorach HaOyvet Shetia Machshavtei L'Shem HaZebach, L'Shem Ba'olav, B'Shas Vicha, B'Shas Kabbalas Hadam. All Karbonos. And the Chen Shar Karbonos. If you didn't do it, it's Stamal L'Shma, then Kosher. Now comes Halacha Yud Aleph. And here is the problem. B'tzorech shetia machshavtei b'shas shchitas ha'oila, and yishechtem oila l'shem shisha dvarim. Shem hazebach, shem hazeveach, shem hazebach l'Hashem yizbaruchu, v'she'aktir l'ishim, v'she'aktir osu l'reyach l'vad, v'she'echzeh nachas ruach l'shnei Hashem. All these things you need to think. You have to think about the zebach, the zeveach, which she knew that was every bar carbon. That the zebach, the carbon is for Hashem. That it should be you should sacrifice makter leishim, which is the mizbeach, and the aktar should be l'reyach and the chayach, nachas ruach for the Eibush. So the source of this is a Gemara in Zvachim, Menvovim and Beis, the Shem Shishas Ramat Zebach Nizbach, and it gives all these 6 things. The Gemara learns from the pasuk Yisharech Nichayach Hashem. Okay. Now, the Rambam here deviates from the Gemara, and he writes that he focuses in on oila. When it comes to the Shisha Dvarim, he focuses on oila. When it comes to the 2 things, it's all kabbalas. For some reason, he focuses on oila. And that's this problem is brought out in many places, and the Radvaz notices it. He says, "No, it's lav dafke." That everything is talking about all kabbalas. Okay. Now we're going to just get back to the main point here in the Rambam. Theoretically, you can say that Halacha Yud talks about all karbonos, Kol HaZvach. Halacha Yud Aleph specific to oil. And so these 6 things that you have to think about are only by it. That would be great, the Lashon Rambam. But what's the svara? Why would there be a difference between oila and other zvach? Shavu l'shem Hashem, every carbon has it. And azevach should be l'Hashem, every carbon should be l'Hashem. And aktara. Now, one of the problems here is that the Rambam seems to say that the aktara, if you don't makter l'Hashem, these things that you saw, l'reyach, nechayach, and so forth, then it's not a perfect carbon. And it's not oil l'Hashem bailu. And l'chayre, that's hard to say, because aktara itself is as Ketara itself is not makif. So how could not having the right kavanah take away? Perhaps we can say, based on the Rambam that was learned on the day before the Rambam, the last parak, I think it is, or the parak before, where the Rambam says, last parak, that a goy cannot bring any karmic only an oila. And the Gemara says a svara because I become liba l'shemayim. So Rashi says, "Kavanasi sheyeh kavanasi of kolo l'shemayim v'le'sheyech." His carbon is intended to be given totally to God, not to be eaten. He doesn't get the idea that you can eat and be part of Avodas Hashem. That can belong to God if humanity eats it. But nevertheless, that's what it says. So without getting into much, it would seem that there is a difference between an oila and heavy carbon. Now it's kula kol. The Gemara uses it many times as a chumrah. Mal oilish ken kol. What's the chumrah of kol? I mean, it's halacha. This is kol. It's not kol. Kol means it's a carbon totally designated without any human input. Rather than Chilas Adam is a Meir Gezach. It accomplishes phenomenal things, and as explained in the Gemara, by Kanam Eichlin and by Meskaprim, yeah. But Kula L'Shemayim is a dog for itself. Kula L'Shemayim. That has a certain mind. Perhaps if we go with that Mahalach, we can say that there is a specific kavanah to say l'shem Hashem by oila, because it's a carbon l'shemayim. It's only l'shem Hashem. There's no human part in it. By another carbon, since there is a chilas adam, it's not totally l'shemayim. The chilas adam is holy and it's great, but it's not shemayim. So you can have machshava l'shem Hashem. But oila is l'shemayim, so you can have machshava l'shem Hashem. L'shem Rambam, asevach l'Hashem baruch. And that's the same thing with psul machshava of ishim and reyach nichayach only by oil. Because the carbon l'shem, that's the whole ritzias of the carbon is reyach nichayach. That's all it is. That's what it is. Shlomim also has a reyach nichayach, but that's not its whole ritzias of the carbon. And that has to be done right away. Part of the shechita, according to the Rambam. This carbon is a totally godly carbon, nothing to do with humanity. And we have to set that up right in the beginning. And that's what the Rambam says, Shachterosei l'reyach v'lvad, ein l'gab nechoyach. Same thing he says by choyach, shereach zeh nachas ruach l'fnei Hashem. Because everything has to be l'shemayim, not for anything else. And if you think anything else is taking away the shemayim of the carbon. Whereas all other kavanas is not miyuchad the shemayim, so it doesn't take it away. So that'll explain why dafka by carbon oila is such a thought. And why only by oila is a machshava l'shem Hashem. Now the question is, but since Torah is not ma'akiv, why? How could you have a machshava? Why can a machshava psula or something machshava shloi l'shem shemayim take away from Torah if Torah is not ma'akiv at all? So perhaps that even though Torah is not ma'akiv, but it's possible that the machshava about Torah, that it's not going to be a kulay l'Hashem, is a chasar. Just like we find that people can be possible in Torah. It's not because of the lack of Torah, it's because the machshava is a place. So it comes out, we can learn out from people that the psul machshava is shayich even in something that's ma'akiv. And that's why the Rambam doesn't put this halacha of these shisha machshavas, as the Lechem Mishnah Halacha asks, and look at psul mikdashim when he brings the other machshavas, because this is not a psul machshava in carbon. This is a new type of machshava. It's not a machshava in carbon. It's a special din in oila because the l'shamayim part of oila, that oila has to be l'shamayim. All right, ulai, that's a mahalach. I want to make a disclaimer that I am not sure if this is something that I wrote or I took from someone, because I found it amongst my notes and my writings, and I definitely recall this Nekuda Eila saying somewhere, but I don't remember if I read this somewhere and I took it from somewhere or it's mine. Either way, it doesn't matter. I think it's a nice idea. Just I'm making that note, and in case somebody finds it somewhere, if they could let me know, I can give credit to the person who made it, who said this. And in the meantime, it doesn't take away from the fact that I personally agree with this approach. And if somebody else said it, I agree with it. If I said it, then I might not agree with it so well. Anyway, sei gesund und stark. Atzlacha Rabba, and be well. Everybody be well.